going to be a great day. I am Nikki G, your host, and welcome to the Lone Doctrine. I am your weekly dose of constructive food for thought. We are here weekly to provide you with actionable and practical steps towards making today better than yesterday. I heard someone say once, life is either beginning of a crisis, the middle of a crisis, or the end of a crisis. Do you agree? I do, and I don't. Are challenges inevitable? Yes, but it is possible to not always be in crisis mode. This month, I'm going to share with you some insight, some food for thought on how to keep pushing through challenging times. We all will walk through the valley at some point in our lives, but it doesn't mean we have to pitch a tent and stay. I've been through challenging times. In fact, I'm in one right now. What would you think if I said I have 2 family members diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, one with spinal stenosis, another hospitalized with pneumonia, an additional case of walking pneumonia, food poisoning, car radiator blown, recall on food items, relationship struggles, the permanent loss of ever hearing my dad's voice again, losing a passion, dogs being poisoned, avoiding a brutal car accident by inches, emotional turmoil, family turmoil. Should I keep going? Because I can. You might be thinking, who cares? I'm making it all up. It's life. Well, let me list what's going on in my life. Well, guess what? All of what I've listed is true. And that's just the past 6 months. Imagine if I listed my whole life. Like losing over 15 people to drugs and alcohol, losing a cousin in a tragic accident, being a victim of hate crimes. But here's the moral of that rant. I'm still here. I'm pushing through, and I've learned that storms will come and will go. It will get better. You may not believe it, especially if you're in the middle of a storm as we speak, but it will get better. Everything I've been through has made me stronger. Yes, that's the cliche. Don't worry, your struggles will make you stronger. But they made me also more aware. And although I've learned through tragedy, it's made me cherish life. You only get one life. Let me repeat that. You only get one life. The crazy part of all of this was I never asked for any of it. In fact, sometimes I feel like I'm stuck in the middle of the world coming at me from all angles. So, would you say I had every excuse to throw up my hands and give up? Yep, I sure do. Here's the difference. I allowed every challenge, every tragedy to become an opportunity. I asked myself constantly, what's the lesson? How can I keep pushing forward? And I'll fully admit there are times where I shout out in frustration to the universe and say, what do you want from me? Why? But the why is the key element in today's episode. Asking why will drive you further away from pushing through. It will be an anchor that will keep you in the victim mindset. Now, you're probably thinking, Nikki, you have no idea what I've been through. I don't, and I'm not claiming to. But what I am saying is that you have a choice. Comparing our lives, comparing pain is obsolete. I'm not you, you're not me. Our perspectives are different. We are emotionally different. Our awareness is different. The key word is different, no better or worse. Who am I to say that your feelings are invalid? Maybe I have been dealt some difficult cards. Maybe your deck of cards is even more difficult. But regardless of people's differences, our feelings, your feelings are valid. Your life is important, no matter the circumstance. So whether you're in a storm or you have yet to experience a life storm, I'd like to share some things I've learned along the way that are actionable and practical steps to guide you towards pushing through the challenging times. First off, allow yourself to feel. When I first found out about 2 of my closest family members being diagnosed with cancer, I felt so confused. I went through stages of denial, fear, anger, sadness, but what helped me the most was to allow those feelings to be, no matter how sporadic or erratic it seemed in the moment. When we're met with challenges, what I've seen in working with people through their challenges is their lack of willingness to what I like to call get to the root. They suppress their feelings, whether it be something that they were taught, fear of what others will think, a societal standard, and many more reasons, but the result is always the same. The suppression of your authentic feelings can and most likely will turn into fear, anger, irrational emotions, thoughts, and even the impulsive nature to want to escape or find relief, which can be the result in drug, alcohol, food, and more abuse. The prevention of something worse comes with the recognition and willingness to get to the root and just feel. This concept can be applied to most anything, whether it's tragedy or just trying to get through the commute home. Something else I've learned is when you're in the storm, we sometimes have to dance in the rain. I've been caught up for years at a time in what one might call a life storm, challenges happening left and right, but I learned to dance in the rain. When you keep staying in action, even when it feels like it's not working, not paying off, perseverance will lead you towards betterment. Possibly something even better than planned will come into fruition when you continually make that forward motion. Stepping away from more serious side of things like cancer, I can relate this last concept to my work. Along with hosting this podcast and having the awesome opportunity to be here with you, I'm also a full-time professional musician, which means I juggle a lot. If I told you that you had to experience hundreds of rejections, work without pay for 2 years, would you do it? Well, I did. In fact, there's a part of my entrepreneur lifestyle that requires me to still stand between being rejected with the hope of having my music placed. I waited years. I got rejected and finally was able to get my foot in the door. As a musician, it is a world of rejection. I was told once by a mentor that it's 80% no, 20% yes. I had times of feeling lost, questioning myself, my dreams, my work, and even at some points I found myself feeling depressed. But I kept creating motion. No matter how low, how unmotivated, or how loud my inner self-critic became, I kept pushing forward. I keep pushing forward. To be honest, sometimes I was even in what some may call zombie mode. I may have not felt my best. In fact, sometimes I felt so low that I didn't want to do anything at all. But regardless, I set goals and I kept them. Did it pay off? Yes. Was it worth it? Absolutely. Motion. We must keep creating motion even when we feel like we don't know what to do. Try something. One step forward is better than standing still, especially in our one so-called life. So, as we move forward this month, we're going to keep discussing ways to push through the hard times. Because let's face it, at one point or another, each of us is going to be caught up in a storm. it's time to create a way to give yourself the advantage of making today better than yesterday and living a great life. So until next time, keep fighting the good fight.
It's a